everyone. My name is Srivastava. I'm the executive editor at Business Insider. Welcome to Money 2020. We have a very special guest with us today. His name is Carlos Torres Vila. He's the chairman of the BBVA group. And we're going to have a very interesting discussion about what's really going on in the world right now. Let me quickly introduce Carlos to you first. Carlos, born in Salamanca in Spain in 1966, graduated with a bachelor's in electrical engineering and a bachelor's in management from the Massachusetts Institute of Technology, where he later also earned a MS at the MIT Sloan School of Management. He also graduated in law from UNED in Spain. Carlos worked at McKinsey & Company for 12 years and became a partner of the firm in 1997. In 2002, he joined Indesa as corporate director of strategy and member of its executive committee and became the CFO of the company in 2007. Carlos has been with BBVA since September 2008 when he joined the bank as its head of strategy and corporate development and member of the bank's management committee. In December 2018, Carlos was appointed BBVA's executive chairman and chairman of the BBVA Foundation. Carlos is a member of the board of directors of the Institute of International Finance, the International Business Council of the World Economic Forum, the European Financial Services Roundtable, and the International Advisory Panel of the Monetary Authority of Singapore, among others. Welcome, Carlos. Very glad to have you here today. And we have some really interesting questions for you.
Thank you, Spriha. Thank you for having me. It's a great honor.
Perfect. Well, I wanted to start off with a question that's been running in everybody's mind. We are in the midst of a pandemic. What was it like leading such a huge financial institution through this pandemic? And what are the lessons that you think we've learned?
It's been certainly a huge challenge, like it has been for everyone, I think, because of the big disruption to everyday life, to the way we work, to the priorities we had before, we had to shift, and the uncertainty in the environment that continues to be there. So in summary, I would say that what has been critical in the way we have done things at BBVA has been anticipation and also coordination. Those have been key to minimize the risk among our people. And I would like to highlight maybe three things. First, to start off, first, the strong push that we did early on, anticipating for this remote working from home, much earlier than other companies, and we did it also everywhere in all the countries where we're present, and I think to a bigger extent than other companies. Our digital capabilities probably helped to be, for example, in Spain, the bank with less people at the branch working at the height of the pandemic, just down to 11% of our branch personnel working at the branches, a lot less than competitors. Second idea, it has been transversal across all of our countries, implemented through war rooms that have been coordinating the initiatives to manage our people, our service in these difficult months. And sharing best practices across countries with we had a global war room and then local war rooms. And then finally, a very prudent approach, both at the beginning and then also in the return plans. So basically, since the beginning, our priority has been the health of clients and employees and the security of them. We have also contributed with a decisive step forward to the health situation, almost $50 million donation coming from both the bank, which was the bulk of it, and also the fundraising efforts that we did with clients, the fundraising efforts that we did with employees for different purposes, mostly medical equipment. Secondly, we have, so health priority number one. Secondly, to maintain our service. And here, our remote management capabilities have been critical, as I already mentioned. And finally, monitoring the impact on our business. Very important also because this could become, given that it's becoming an economic crisis, something quite damaging to the P&L of an institution like BBVA in all of our countries. So here we have selected like 4 topics that the teams everywhere have been working on. First and foremost, accelerating the transformation of the relationship model towards more of a remote, supported by technology and data, but remote management of our client relationships. That has been a huge success. Secondly, adapting the pricing given the environment and the lower rates, which have shifted massively. Cost has been a very big priority because that's one of the levers that we banks have in this context of lower revenues. Very aggressive reduction of costs. And finally, a proactive risk management, anticipating what could be coming because of the pandemic.
Right.
And in terms of lessons learned, I think I already threw out a few, but just to conclude, I would say that the number one thing that I have learned is that situations that are critical, like the ones we have gone through, the very difficult circumstances, are the ones where we see that people, companies, and society as a whole really bring out their best, and also looking forward, that this is an opportunity to rethink our world and reset our world towards a more sustainable future. Those would be my two lessons learned.
Very well put. And thanks for that, Carlos. Now, there's a big trend that we are seeing right now, which has been a trend, a shift to sort of digital banking, the digital space. How does that fit in with BBVA's policies, and how does that fit in with what your strategy is at the moment?
Yeah, I thank you, Sriha. I already mentioned how important this has been in our particular case. I think the lockdowns associated with COVID have accelerated. Has been really a massive experiment that has forced all of us to embrace this new medium, new for many people, I say. So it really has accelerated the trends that we had earlier in digitization, in the adoption of new technologies. I think at a personal level, we all have been adapting, and we have managed to stay in contact with friends and family through video, for example, adapting to new forms of work, new ways of organizing events and holding interviews like we're doing now through video. Consumers also have massively changed their habits towards e-commerce, and they got used to accessing services of all types, medical care, social assistance, entertainment for sure, education, and also financial services through digital. So we, the companies in general and the banks and us, we have to embrace this in a quicker way, digitizing our processes so we can maintain our standards, our service in this new world. And I do believe that this is not just a temporary thing. Many things will, with the pandemic, have changed and will go back to normal. This one, I think, is here to stay. For many people that knew less or were less familiar to the use of technology on a daily basis, this has represented a discovery, and they will not stop using this new medium in the future. So this is a great opportunity that through technology, through data, we can provide better service, have a more profound impact on people's lives and businesses, and helping them in their decisions around money in order to meet their life goals and improve their financial health. In our case, we have seen how the digital capabilities that BBVA has proven to be something distinctive, has given us an edge in this environment, our focus on technology. So we have already shared the statistic of branch employees in Spain. We have guided our customers to stay home. We have guided our customers to use our digital and remote channels and to do the transactions from there. And that has meant a big rise, for example, in app logins, more than 20% in a period of weeks. Or for example, the usage, we have this My Conversations utility, which is a authenticated chat within the app, has risen 70% because of the pandemic in the usage, as that was being used as the main medium of exchange between our bankers and our clients. We have also used more traditional technologies, being close to our customers in these very emotional times. Many people, for example, small entrepreneurs or sole entrepreneurs, were really facing a dramatic threat to their means of life, to maybe a whole life's work, and it has been very important also to be close emotionally to them. Overall, to give the overall statistic, we have 66% of our sales happened through digital in the second quarter, and I think that says it all.
That's great. That's very impressive. Thank you, Carlos. And this year has also been very interesting for other things. So, for instance, we've seen a bigger push for climate change. We've seen BLM movements, coming across, bringing more diversity at workplace and in countries. What do you think? I mean, banks are a really big financial institutions worldwide. What do you think is the role of banks in bringing out these social changes? And then, weave in how BBVA does that.
Critical question, because the banks, we have a very important role to play. We're an important part of society, and we are part of the solution to the problems that we're facing now. I already mentioned that one of the lessons learned is that we need to rethink how to reset the world, and we have a big role there. I often say, when I'm asked about the future of finance, and people maybe are expecting talks about the big techs or the fintechs or digital technology, AI, and so on, I often say that the future of finance the future bank is to finance the future, with a capital F. So that means financing sustainability, environmental sustainability, also from the social standpoint, social perspective. We play a key role to help people, to help companies also in the transformation to a greener, more resilient world, also a fairer world that is more inclusive of everyone. In our particular case, we have seen the challenge before COVID, and COVID just, again, the same as digital, accelerates the need for this. We have seen it as a necessity of the world and our part in the solution, but also as an opportunity, a big opportunity. It's a very meaningful driver to make our purpose true. Our purpose at BBVA is to bring the age of opportunity to everyone. We have to do it in a world that is sustainable from all perspectives. That is why sustainability has been, and now even more, central to our priorities. We want to help clients with money management on one side, simplifying money management, supporting our clients in financial decision making, supporting them in achieving their life goals, their business goals. And all of that is really now can be boosted by the use of data. So that's one aspect of our strategic priorities. The other one has to do with helping our clients transition to a more sustainable world. And this is inspired by 5 selected SDGs, Sustainable Development Goals, from the UN 17 SDG framework. We have selected 5 around climate finance and around inclusive growth, through which we're going to do that. No? And we have made very, very visible public commitments around the topic. For example, on our pledge for 2025, we have this public pledge to mobilize 100 billion euro. And we're well ahead, already 2 years in, well ahead of that 100 billion pledge to mobilize by 2025. We have also made a pledge to manage our own emissions. We're carbon neutral already in 2020, including scope 1, scope 2, and business travel. And we more important than that, we have set up an internal carbon market to price carbon emissions among business units. And then with respect to the more important aspect of scope 3, so the emissions of our clients, what we have done is public commitments like the Katowice commitment. We're one of 5 banks that started the movement to align our portfolio to the Paris Accord to limit global warming to 1.5 degrees. So that's just an example of the things we're doing. And then, as I said, beside climate change, we're facing other threats to sustainability, severe social challenges, inclusion, racial discrimination, diversity, education. So those are topics we're hard working on.
Perfect. Carlos, I know we've got little time, so I want to just ask you one last question. I know you don't have a crystal ball, but if I was to ask you for 2021, your projection in terms of where we are heading, are we going to have a vaccine, and what the global economy is going to look like?
Hard to say. I think consensus right now is that the vaccine could be ready by the end of the year. That would mean that then we would have a few months more until it's really deployed and effective, and we can go back to lives that are less controlled or restrictive on many dimensions. But again, there's a big uncertainty on the calendar there. I think we need to take this as an opportunity, and I think the massive infusion of public funds, it's a great opportunity to solve the more structural problems we have in the world towards digital, towards the green, towards a more inclusive society. And there also, I do believe that the role of banks is very important, the role of the private sector. So the public funds that are being invested in Europe, in the US, in many other geographies to recover and repair the damage and prepare for a faster recovery and a longer term higher growth, those public funds can be amplified by the public money. And again, the bank's role there is not just to amplify it through financing, but also to ensure that it's dedicated to good cause, that the public money is used on something that makes a lot of sense, because there is someone risking their own private money around it. So
perfect. Thank you, Carlos. I know we've run out of time now. Thanks very much. It's been a pleasure speaking with you. I think my three main takeaways from today's meeting with you has been one, that this particular pandemic has brought the best out of everyone, whether it's industries, countries, people. Second is technology has brought us all together, whether it's consumers, whether it's clients, and this is going to stay even after COVID. Technology, the role of technology, that's going to stay definitely. And third, I'm going to leave it on a very hopeful note that we'll have a vaccine by the end of the year, hopefully, and we'll all go back to a normal life. And the next year, Money 2020, we could actually sit in front of each other and we don't have to do this virtually.
It would be great.
So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.